Hello sir, welcome back for the second part of our
Thanks. Yeah.
episode. So basically IPL happened and it was a massive moment, but the biggest moment in Indian cricket history I think was the 1983 World Cup win. You were part of that system at that time, you were in England in 1979. So can you tell us about the impact the 1983 win had?
I think it was one of the biggest impacts where cricket was concerned in India, because we won a world tournament. I mean, earlier, before that, yes, I was also fascinated when we won the 1971 Ajit Wadekar's team, which came along victorious from West Indies and England. That was a great moment. I mean, that had all the red carpets and all. After that, this 83 was something phenomenal. When you talk about it, I just retired and I was there on the ground at that stage also in 83. Being part in 79, nobody took us seriously, because 75 we just won one game against East Africa. 79 we landed up not even winning a single game. We lost against Sri Lanka, which not even a test team at that stage. Unfortunately, I was 12th man in all the three matches, didn't get a look in. But 83, therefore, nobody really took it seriously. They never took them, the odds were so high. And what they accomplished, it was just brought cricket into the limelight in India. And like I said, it was followed by 85 Champions Trophy, that we actually believed that we were one of the best. That's when the belief came into it. And I think that changed the whole atmosphere of Indian cricket. The way the spectators, the followers looked at us. They suddenly looked at us as, yes, this Indian team is as good as the best in the world. You know, we were put into that caliber. And from then onwards, we've escalated. Now, I mean, we are considered as one of the best.
Absolutely.
It's just taken for granted now. But at that time, you had to build up this reputation, and that reputation came through that 83 World Cup win, although we all look at it and say, oh, it was a fluke. You know, and we had beaten West Indies the first match as well. And it was, it proved that, you know, over time, that you suddenly realized you had world-class players among yourselves, and Kapil Dev was one of them. Gradually you had a Tendulkar who came in, and then you had so many of them that now we've got a whole load of legends and cricketers who have done exceedingly well. So when you talk about the 83 World Cup, it was a changing moment in Indian cricket, and therefore it was so lovely that they came out with the film. And how many people have approached me after that, you know, very legal luminaries and all, oh, we didn't know this and we didn't know that. And administration played a lot of part in it as well. And it's come out as to how people treated us. They didn't even want to give you a pass for the World Cup seat. I mean, our BCCI officials didn't get it. I was very fortunate. I had bought a 12-pound ticket. Oh. So I was there on the stand. We were touring at that time, one of these club cricket and all that. So I was very fortunate to have been there on the ground during that day.
So basically, next question is for both of you. Like, in terms of, we already had won the 83 World Cup, then we had 2007 T20 World Cup, IPL level. But in terms of an event, I don't think there was anything like 2011 World Cup, because of the sheer involvement of the whole, because the World Cup was happening at home, the way the crowd got involved, everybody, it was like the World Cup where in terms of connection with the supporters, it was like unique.
Yeah. So I tell you, by then, like what we were saying, we suddenly became one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
We were playing at home. We were the favorites towards it. And we actually accomplished something. An Indian side, as you could say, who went there as a favorite and did accomplish and complete the job. I think that was the relevance of the 2011 World Cup.
Yeah.
That we came out victorious. You know, at the end of the day, although earlier we were always the favorites, or there was always that possibility of there is a chance of winning. Or 2007, there was nobody thought of us that we were going to be winning that World Cup.
Absolutely.
This was the first time that yes, we were going to be in that limelight, and they delivered, and that makes a lot of difference. You know, when you deliver something that everyone else is aspiring for, that 1.4 billion people were aspiring for, and they gave us that joy.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Professor, you were right in the thick of action in that World Cup. You were the tournament director. You had the responsibility of completing the renovation of Wankhede Stadium in time. Can you share your experience, the challenges? How did the atmosphere, any anecdote?
Yeah, I'll just, before going to 2011, I just wanted to touch on what Yajendra Singh spoke about 1983.
Yeah.
When they won the World Cup in England, Mr. NKP Salve was the president of the BCCI. And he went to the dressing room to congratulate the players, and everybody asked him, what BCCI is going to give us. And he just announced 1 lakh rupee each. So there were 15 members, 14 players and a manager. And Mr. Salve came back to India, and the treasurer of the board told him that you have promised 1 lakh, where is the money? Because BCCI didn't have money at that time. And that is when Lata Mangeshkar came forward
and Dilip Kumar,
and organized a musical night in Delhi, which she contributed that entire amount of 21 lakhs to BCCI. You know, that's why she is always revered and remembered so far as Indian cricket is concerned. The 2011 World Cup was important for us because after what happened in 2007 World Cup, you know, we were washed out and we didn't even qualify to the next stage. We are out of the tournament in the preliminary round itself. So when this tournament was being organized, ICC realized that without India and Pakistan up to semi-finals, that the tournament loses its charm and viewership. And therefore they decided to reorganize the groups in such a way that at least for 6 games both the teams are there and viewership will be there, and both are expected to move further to the quarter-finals, semi-final or final. So the scheduling was changed. The format of World Cup was changed for 2011, keeping the experience of 2007 World Cup in mind. That was one change that happened. As far as India was concerned, you know, originally Pakistan was supposed to be the country which was supposed to organize the World Cup. It was a 4-nation. India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. And unfortunately that attack on the Sri Lankan team in Lahore caused the Pakistan team to be removed as an organizer. So we were left with 3 of us. And the responsibility which was given to Pakistan was shifted to BCCI. That's how I became the tournament director. Originally the tournament director was supposed to be from PCB. And we had 2 years to still, because that was in 2009 that incident that happened. And we had 2 years to take the responsibility, and the board officials went out of their way to support whatever requirements were there. And I was given a free hand to run the show. 3 stadiums were being renovated at that time. One was Chennai, the other was Mumbai, and third was Eden Gardens in Calcutta. They were fully refurbishing for the World Cup. And as it always happens in India, we never complete the work in time. Although we had an experience of 2010 Commonwealth Games, where so much of criticism was there for incomplete work, last minute work being done. So that is something which really upset me, that why do we do this, you know, as an organizing country, we need to be doing it earlier than what we decide.
Absolutely.
Fortunately, Chennai and Mumbai were completed just in time for the World Cup. Eden Gardens could not. And the expert from ICC, we went for a final visit. He was very firm that Eden Gardens is not ready for the first game. And the first game was the most important. It was the India-England match was to be played in Eden Gardens. And that could not be played. So that match we had to shift to Bangalore, which meant a lot of hardship for the spectators who are coming from abroad. This English team is always followed by a large number of English spectators. So all those people who had booked tickets in Eden Gardens, we had to tell KSCA that at Bangalore first reserve those seats, because as it is they will be facing hassles landing in Calcutta, changing their schedules, hotels, everything. So those type of challenges were there. And one of the major challenges that I faced was about visa. The Indian government had introduced a rule for visa just a few months before World Cup, in which the Home Ministry had said that anybody who leaves the country cannot come back to the country for 2 months. Now that was a problem for us, because we have got teams traveling from India to Sri Lanka, India to Bangladesh, coming back and playing in India. So that took some time, because we had to convince the government that tournament is hampered, and so finally the government of India at that time, and the Prime Minister was very supportive. Mr. Manmohan Singh was very supportive on that count. He gave us income tax exemption for that tournament, and he also agreed to change the rule that as far as the visa rules are concerned, it will not apply to the teams or team officials or BCCI or ICC officials or any spectator who is holding a ticket. That visa rule wouldn't apply, and that was that was a big help for us at that time. Fortunately, India did well, and the tournament went off very well. See, as Mr. Yajwendra Singh rightly said, 83 was the impact year for ODI cricket. People started believing in the Indian cricketers that we can do it. And so people coming to watch India play the 2011 was not a problem. But expecting India to win was they were surely looking forward to. Now the problem arose when we played India-Pakistan in the semi-final at Mohali. And it was a difficult situation. Whenever we play Pakistan, I think he will agree with me that there's tremendous pressure on the Indian players also to do well in that particular match. And there's a pressure always. And at Mohali, the Prime Minister of India and Prime Minister of Pakistan both decided to come for the match. And we had only 5 days. So I was in a fix at that time, but Mr. Bindra and Mr. Pandav, all these corporate boxes were paid for by the top industrialist of India. So we had to request them to relinquish their boxes and use it for the 2 prime ministers and the entourage, including Sonia Gandhi, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Everybody had to be accommodated on priority, and the industrialists shifted, the Ambanis, the Singhanias, they shifted their boxes to another box. The match was played, we won, and winning against Pakistan is like winning the World Cup for us. The atmosphere on the streets, they were not bothered what happens in the final. It just beat Pakistan. That type of thing. But ultimately Mumbai was the first venue where the host country won in all the World Cups. And Wankhede Stadium goes into the record books as the host venue which the country won the World Cup. That was a great feeling. The match was absolutely exciting.
Yeah.
And one incident which I must quote here is that there was so much of excitement in the stadium among the spectators. The music being played between overs and people really getting into their elements towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
When there was a hope that India was going to make it. And I still remember the police commissioner calling me.
Yeah.
And he told me that at 10 o'clock your speakers have to be stopped. And we will remove the thing because there is a High Court ruling that PA system cannot be used after 10 p.m. Now that was something which we never expected. But Mr. Prithviraj Chavan was the chief minister and he was in the president box with us. So Mr. Pawar said, let's go and tell him. So we went and told him, sir, we will have a serious problem if you stop the PA system. What happened? He said, I said the commissioner just called me and told me that 10 o'clock all the sound systems will be off. So he said, call the commissioner, I'll talk to him. And Mr. Patnaik was the commissioner of police then. So I called him. So he said, what have you told the CM? I said, I have just told the CM I have requested him to keep the sound system on till the end of the game because it's the most exciting part of the game now. And we can't do without the sound system. Prize distribution follows. So the CM told him, he said, you allow the PA system, the sound system, music to go on. This is the final of ICC World Cup and not an event just like that. So I take the responsibility. And he said that don't worry about the court because the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court is also sitting here for the match. He is also enjoying. So I am sure that he will support this cause. So this type of things which come up while organizing a match, which are unexpected, coming up at the last minute, and those challenges, in a way, you enjoy after the event is over. But at that moment, you feel that you're stressed out as to what you're going to do.
Absolutely.
And as it normally happens in India and Indian media, and after the prize distribution, somebody sent a note in the media that the trophy that was awarded was not the true trophy, but it was an event, a trophy which ICC had. So that happened after the event. So people started calling me up. I still remember Mr. Uddhav Thackeray calling me up and asking that Balasaheb is asking whether that story is true because he wants to write an editorial on that. So I said it's not true. Actually what has happened was, I said, that the original trophy which is awarded to the winner was in our custody right from beginning, a month before the final. That was in BCCI custody. The second trophy which goes for marketing purpose, which is going all over India, was stopped at the Bombay Customs at the airport. And Customs as usual were arm twisting for their requirements. So we told them, I said, that you can keep that trophy and ICC can take it back when they leave because we don't need it. And so these type of things also happen in an organizational setup. Interesting, but
very interesting.
It creates a lot of misunderstanding about the event itself because the highest award, whether it is the correct trophy that is given or not, those doubts, people just keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Sir, basically like all the spotlight was on Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Sachin Tendulkar, but behind the scenes you were the main man. Like, what was your feeling on that night? Relieved or elated, or because mainly my question is because you were in a dual role, so you had that responsibility of finishing the Wankhede Stadium's renovation on time, and it involved massive cost. So, and various decisions like fire brigade permission, then special food for foreign guests. all that, and in all of that, in the renovation part, how important was that decision to have AC boxes?
So it was important actually because corporate boxes are in a demand. A lot of corporates want that facility to entertain their guests or their families, and that is the order of the day now. In any stadium, your majority of ticket sales or revenue comes out of the corporate boxes.
Yeah.
And we also have about 40 or 45 boxes in the stadium.
Yeah.
It was the only way by which we could raise money for, because the cost was there. So we had to recover the cost of refurbishment of the stadium. And that was it. And coming to your point on how I felt, absolutely elated. I had tears in my eyes, tears of joy.
Yeah.
That our boys have won.
Yeah.
And more than me, I can tell you, because I was interacting with them right through and before the World Cup.
Yeah.
See, they had their plans in their mind as to what should be the composition of the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how they are going to go about in this tournament. So they wanted a meeting with the selection committee to express their views on the composition, what they are thinking. The whole aim was to undo of what happened in 2007.
Yeah.
So in 2007, people were short of throwing big bats at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were demonstrations outside their homes.
Yeah.
And they wanted that to be changed, and they wanted to win this World Cup. So they were totally involved in all sense of it. Each one of those 15 players, I think, had only one goal in mind, that to win the World Cup.
Basically, continuing with the 2011 World Cup, the challenge you had to renovate the stadium, to get the ground ready in time, have the pitch ready in time. So in that whole effort which was needed, you were part of the Mumbai Cricket Association also as the treasurers. And one thing which was there, which helped you, was you had various specialized committees, subcommittees, infrastructure, finance committee. So how that helped you? Kind of in those committees you had people with the right expertise. So there was one Mr. Ashok Pradhan heading your finance committee. So how those committees helped you achieve that impossible task at that time?
First, I think, when we decided to refurbish Wankhede Stadium, we had taken a stand that we will only do it at the north and south stand. We didn't touch the east and west. Obviously, because the reason that west cannot be anything better than what it is, because the buildings, residential buildings at the back, and there's the railway track on the other side, so there's no chance of doing anything there. So we focused only on the south and west north stands to increase the capacity, improve the facilities, and that was our whole focus. And I can tell you, but for L&T, this work would never have been completed. They were using at some point of time 2,000 laborers were there in the stadium to complete that work. And for me, I had some people whom I had a lot of confidence with and respect for. For example, Mr. Ashok Pradhan is one.
Yeah.
There was an infrastructure committee which was in place. Mr. Shripad Halbe was a part of that and an important member of that committee, who really gave a lot of time to ensure that things are happening and stadium would be ready for the World Cup. Mr. Ashok Pradhan was, for me, a savior for me, I would say, in all respects, because the costing, expenses involved, deciding on what is the quality of material to be used, all that came with the help of these people, the finance committee and the infrastructure subsidy, infrastructure committee, and we could finish the work in time, in time, I would say, and rest is history.
Absolutely.
But it was challenging. I enjoyed that at that time. I had multiple responsibilities, as you rightly said, because I was the chief administrative officer at the board at that time, so I was to handle the BCCI matters. MCA was there, and the World Cup. But one advantage that I had was the BCCI office and MCA office were in the same building. So it was, I could easily adjust that.
Superb.
And the time spent, I think, when the last result comes, that joy takes care of all the hurdles that you had preparing for that event.
Yeah. Sir, this has been a good season for Mumbai. Basically, they have won the Ranji Trophy after a gap. Overall, it has been good. But in terms of the functioning of the MCA, what would be your advice? Like, we don't have these specialized committees at the moment, infrastructure and finance committee. So, where you have this people with the right expertise to kind of handle these jobs. So, how do you look at that functioning? What would be your advice?
So there is, all associations.
Yeah.
Mumbai is one of them, but all associations are hampered by some decisions of Justice Lodha Committee, which are impractical. And one of the reasons why these committees are not being appointed is because it is not allowed as per the Lodha Committee recommendations. So unless you go to the Supreme Court and put amendments and get it done, it is not proper for state. Somebody can easily go to court and challenge those committees. So these are the negativity surrounding the Lodha Committee recommendations. These are committees which are required. For example, the Finance Committee is a basic requirement for any association to control the type of expenses that you are making. Because the amount of money that you are getting from the board runs into 100 crores. And you need people with integrity, people with knowledge to control the expenses and run the affairs in a good manner. So also for infrastructure, for the stadium committee for that matter, these were committees that were required. They were not appointed just for the sake of it. As far as Mumbai is concerned, these were all active committees and they need to be there. I hope they are planning to move the Supreme Court for a request to amend these things, and it will work out. Similarly, there will be a time where you will not get selectors. Because you have put a rule there that a cricketer can be in a committee only for 5 years. And also there is a rule that the selector should be an international cricketer, he should be, or 10 matches. Very few people will come forward for these positions. And money alone is not something which is attracting, but there used to be people who are committed. They may be conducting their own academies. But that didn't hamper the working of Mumbai cricket. See, after a cricketer retires after 35 years, age 35 and plus, he has to also look after his own family and his own source of income. And that is why, that is a big area of concern for all associations now. That good cricketers have kept them out of it. Because they feel that there is no certainty that he would continue after a period of time. Maybe, what gain does he get out of it? The only advantage is that maybe he is appointed in the board where 5 years is all right, because maximum again 5 years there. And if you are a junior selector and a senior selector, 5 years is too small a term, because we used to have 4 years in Mumbai. That you can be a selector for 4 years in junior cricket and 4 years in senior cricket. That type of thing is required. So those rules are hampering, I think, all associations, including Mumbai cricket. But in spite of that, I think we are doing a good job.
Yeah.
Because Mumbai cricket, the number of people who boys and girls who want to play the game and who aspire to represent Mumbai cricket
Yeah.
is increasing by the day,
Hmm.
and it's challenging for the selectors also.
Got
But I hope we continue doing well.
Yeah.
For Mumbai, winning the Ranji Trophy is the biggest asset that
Yeah.
we look at.
Yeah.
Winning 42 championships, almost 50% of the total number of Ranji Trophy
Yeah.
series that have been
Yeah.
held till now. And when your international cricketers are not available, the others play.
Yeah.
It shows the strength of your basic build-up of an association.
Yeah.
I think that's a very happy moment this year. And it was good to see all the former Indian cricketers
Yeah.
coming for the matches, encouraging, whether it was Mr. Gavaskar or Dilip Vengsarkar, Ravi Shastri, Sachin Tendulkar. They
Yeah.
all took out time to come and be with the team.
Absolutely.
That encouragement in Mumbai cricket is something which is very positive
Yeah.
and keeps us going. It rubs on the administrators.
Hmm.
The presence of these stalwarts rubs on the administrators.
Yeah.
It gives them a motivation.
Yeah. Sir, talking about Ranji Trophy,
Yeah.
one of the great rivalries in domestic cricket was Maharashtra versus Mumbai. You've
Correct,
been part of
always.
that. Can you tell us how that rivalry used to be between Mumbai and Maharashtra?
No, it was always, it was the blue ribbon of West Zone cricket. And yeah, I participated in many occasions on this. The first time it was we lost here at the CCI, but the next year we beat them in Kolhapur, which was a grand moment for Maharashtra cricket. And it was so funny because in that year, earlier only one team used to qualify.
Right.
But as we were always number 2, I think Chandu Borde and everyone said 2 teams should come, and somehow that rule came in that 2 teams were allowed to will be moving towards the knockout stage.
Yeah.
And that was the year we were number 1 in the West Zone and we beat Bombay.
Yeah.
So Bombay came as the number 2 side and then went on to win the championship again. And we lost in the semi-finals to Tamil Nadu. And it was terrible. We were chasing 120 to get into the final.
Yeah.
And we collapsed.
So that rule was changed
Because of
Mr. Agashe
Yeah.
objected to that one team qualification.
Yeah, because every time it was so. But there was always this because remember we are neighbors, and so there was always this great sort of healthy rivalry. Everyone respected each other, and then next one was I played in Nasik when Sunil Gavaskar broke the thing. I think my cricket recognition came through when I got 100 in that match. And it was such an important factor because that gave you the confidence that you got a run. When you got runs against Bombay, you were considered a cricketer. Till then, no one looked at it anywhere else. So for anybody who was playing from outside, from Maharashtra, that was a great moment for us. To do well against Mumbai. And then I naturally was in Bombay from 1973. So they were more or less, a lot of them were my own colleagues or corporate colleagues or we played club cricket together as such. So that was even more rivalry because whatever you say about the cricketers, on the field we are like rivals. Off the field we'll be having cutlet or whatever it is. But we don't want to give anybody even that one additional thing. And naturally great friends like Gavaskar and all of them. We learned so much from these people. It was, I think, for me, and then I encouraged a lot of Maharashtra players also to come to play in Mumbai. Because that was the breeding ground of learning how to play cricket. Of becoming a Kadus cricketer, as they keep on saying. But that was the mental strength that you had to build. And I think that we all learned from Mumbai as such.
We don't get to see Maharashtra, Mumbai so often nowadays. Last year we got to see.
Yeah.
and both the teams kind of they killed each other's chances. The match ended in a tie.
So the
either would have
rivalry is
qualified.
still there.
Yeah, rivalry is still there.
And I don't know why you don't have the same rivalry with Vidarbha or anybody
Yeah,
else, but yes, against.
Yeah.
One point I just wanted, the quality of Mumbai cricketer when he is playing any team.
Yeah.
Maharashtra was more, but any other team also in the Ranji Trophy. All friendships used to end beyond the boundary line. When they play the game, those 5 days it used to be.
But when you ask me, my first match was at CCI, and it was 72, 1972, and that time there was commentary. Mr. Vijay Merchant was on the mic. Full house. It was full house. I remember, I remember going into bat, and when you were walking in, you had Wadekar and all the stalwarts with Dilip Sardesai saying things in Marathi. I don't want to say much. I was walking. You were already nervous. Eknath Solkar there, everyone. And then I remember the commentary was around, and I got out and cheaply, and I came back. And then at lunchtime, I met Vijay Merchant, and my parents knew him, and he had come to our school also to teach us as such. So I asked him, and he said, Yajwendra, can you in the second innings last a little longer? So I said, why, sir? He said, because I was introducing you and your family, and you know how much you contributed. But by the time I could do that, you were out. So please make sure in the second innings, that. So forget the rivalry from the players, even from the chap like Vijay Merchant, we had to go through. But it was very pleasant moments, and we had Chandu Bode, remember, who was a brilliant cricketer. So there was always that thing that he couldn't take a defeat against Mumbai as such.
Sir, just one last part, rapid fire round.
Okay.
Where you are the chief selector and you have to pick one of the players in the options I am giving you.
Difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Subhash Gupte or Shane Warne?
I would say Shane Warne, because not because of the ability, because Gary Sober said Subhash Gupte is the best leg spinner that he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And if Gary Sober said that, and he's seen both of them, I'm sure it must be correct. But the thing is, Shane Warne was a brilliant thinker also. He was a cricketer. He was quite a genius in many ways. As a cricket sort of, he was a very intelligent bowler. He didn't have the googly that I gathered like what Subhash Gupte had, but he had, I don't know, he had somehow a lot of confidence in a lot of things that he did, and that's what I say. On intelligence, I would rank him higher.
Second is Salim Durrani or Ravi Shastri?
See, Salim is everyone's favorite. I mean, there is nothing that you can say. He was one of the most brilliant cricketers, and I've been very fortunate to have played against him as such. He was so brilliant, I'll tell you, that this was when he was in his older days, when he was just going to retire, and we were playing, Maharashtra was playing Rajasthan, and my vice captain at that time I was captaining Maharashtra, was Bhalekar, who hit him for a 4 and a 6 or what, and he made us 50, and then gave a dirty look to Salim Bhai. And Salim Bhai was a little upset about this, and he told him, in Gujarati, he told me, I'm going to take him out next. So I told Bhalekar, I said, take it easy, you've got this chap unnecessarily angry. And he bowled him in the next thing. So then I got a little worried, what about me type of a thing. So I went, Salim Bhai, Maru soon, what about me? He said, Nana, you keep on batting. I'm enjoying your batting. I said, thank you. That was the brilliance of Salim Durrani. While Ravi, I'll tell you, we are very good friends. He is a very tenacious cricketer. One of the I would select Ravi ahead of Salim. The reason being, because Ravi knew his cricket, he knew his capabilities, and he knew how to take advantages of that. You know, he was not as brilliant as Salim, but he knew, again, the same thing. His cricketing senses were great. And, you know, you have to, in cricket, it's not only about being a genius or being really very gifted. You should also know what you are capable of doing and how you can take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
I think that's why he's got 3,000 odd runs and so many wickets, and made Mumbai win as well in the Ranji Trophy when your stalwarts were away. So I would, if it was a choice at the end of it, I mean, it would be Salim Durrani in many ways, but very difficult. I think Ravi at the end of it.
And between Ramakant Desai and Mohammad Shami?
Oh, Ramakant Desai, no, there was no doubt about it. I mean, Ramakant was a brilliant bowler. I faced him when he was half his speed and half his thing. It was, and it was the way he could make the ball talk. Was and the run up, and we've seen him as youngsters. Look at his height, but look at the rhythm that he had. I mean, I don't think Shami is anywhere close to that.
Oh, wow.
If you remember, Hanif Mohammed, who was at his best at that time, could not face him, you know, and was struggling against Ramakant Desai. I mean, you have to give him, and his bouncers, I mean, were tremendous. It just skid up right there, and the ability he had was brilliant. I would say Ramakant Desai by far.
Who would be the captain, Kapil Dev or MS Dhoni?
Oh, MS Dhoni. And both of them, I think you've named both the names are good one-day captains. They're not, both of them are not great test captains. So between the two, I think Dhoni in many ways, because he was a very calm and collected guy, and I think he got the team together much easier, much better. Kapil was a brilliant cricketer. But as a captain, I don't think he was a strategist at all. And I think that way, Dhoni has got this cricket computer mind. You know, at times when you watch him bat, during his finish, when he does the great finisher as he is, you would say, isn't he taking it too close to anything else? So, but he's calculating things, and that's where I think he's quite a genius in many ways.
One last one, Sachin or Virat?
But you would say Gavaskar into it. Sachin or Virat, naturally Sachin. I mean, there is no, not for anything else. It's in his technique. The way, you know, he played the ball. And I think there was something about Sachin, apart from playing all his shots that he had, there was that, you know, when he played a defense, it looked like a conventional forward defensive and backward defensive. What I find with Virat is that he just takes his foot out and then he adjusts himself accordingly, which is brilliant. That is his style of playing. But between the two, as a cricketer, I would say Sachin.
Sir, one question for you. You have worked with heavyweights right from Jagmohan Dalmia, then N. Srinivasan, there was Sharad Pawar sir, and Shashank Manohar. Who was the best BCCI boss?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's very difficult to compare them, I would say. And I always felt Mr. Jagmohan Dalmia played an immense role as an administrator, a successful president of the board, because he was the president at a time when there was no resources with the board. And still he managed things. The cricket never suffered. And his priority was Indian cricket and how he could improve upon it. And I always felt a lot to learn from him. See, Mr. Sharad Pawar, when he became president, the media rights thing was happening. Money came into the game. And things started improving. And as a corporate leader, Srinivasan played a big role in organizing the structure, administrative structure of BCCI. He played a big role in that. And he was himself not only just an administrator, but he had employed cricketers in his own company, so he knew the impressions of a cricketer, what they expect, those type of things. Each one had a different thing, but I always think Mr. Jagmohan Dalmia made a huge contribution.
Super. Coming to this, yeah, you're very right. Remember, Dalmia and Srinivasan also looked after ICC.
Yeah.
And Dalmia, when I think he took over ICC at 30,000 pounds and he left it with some 350,000 pounds or something in that tenure he was there. And he says, if I'm a little longer, I would have made it even better. Same with Srinivasan as such. And I think we are very fortunate that we got all these sort of administrators, because you need these sort of administrators who think ahead and who are power-packed.
Absolutely.
And who are decision makers, and I think that's an important factor.
BCCI started getting money, but then the first, Mr. Sharad Pawar is the first to open up the strings, open the purse, distribute it in the form of pension.
Yeah.
So it happened at that time. And Mr. Srinivasan, when he was president, see these IPL games which are played, the last 4 matches are BCCI matches. It is not the franchise.
Correct.
So the ticket revenue is huge in these 4 games, wherever it is played. And that revenue is to come to us. So in 2013, when Mr. Srinivasan was the president, he asked us, he said, this money which is there from IPL, we should use it for something. And Anil Kumble was a member at that time. And he came up with this idea that why not reward the cricketers, He said, let us distribute this money, because this is not actual BCCI money, it's the IPL income which is coming from those 4 games.
Wonderful.
And that's how one-time benefit happened.
Sir, one last question. What will be your message to the youngsters? Professor, what will be your message to the young administrators who would like to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I think, I feel it's the passion that is required. For anybody to succeed in any field, I think you should enjoy that job that you're doing, have passion for Indian cricket, and understand the nuances of cricket administration. Because there were times when I used to get people coming for job at BCCI who were more inclined to look at the glamour part of it. So I think that is something which really people should be interested in, is the passion that you have for Indian cricket. That's the last word I would say.
Yajuvendra sir, what is your message to the young cricketers?
Yeah, my message would be, first thing, cricket is not a simple game. It's a game that you have to enjoy, but you have to work very hard towards it. Hard work and dedication is a very, very important factor. Don't look at early success. Look at how you can grow to be somebody. You try and improve upon yourself as an individual, first of all, both mentally and physically, and get your abilities. And I think passion is always, it's a given thing, because you won't be there in the hot sun if you are not passionate about the sport. But it requires a lot of training and hard work. And that is something that there is no second about it. You have to work towards that.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always a privilege
interacting with
you too. And for sparing the time and coming all the way. It's been like, I really enjoyed this discussion. I am sure all our viewers will love it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.